So my name is Phil Johnston, and I'm the proud co-owner of this beautiful car. This is my mom, Leslie Dow.
Hey, this is Bot, and she is a 1961 Jaguar XKE open two-seater. A friend of ours who is a great British car mechanic went over to see this car and knew that I had been raised by a woman who had had one of these, and that I had spent my childhood shoved into the back of one of these being taken to school, and also knew that I wanted one. And it was sort of a low, it wasn't a really urgent thing, but eventually I knew I wanted to get an E and I wanted to restore it. So he came back and said, if you'd ever thought about restoring an E, this was the car to restore. When we got the car, it technically was drivable. It was licensed and it started, but none of the seats were attached, and the clutch was completely shot. It was completely shot. It had been garaged about 3 blocks away from our house, and I managed to get it those 3 blocks home. I think I killed the engine about 4 times, and every time I would put the clutch in, the seat would go sliding back, and I'm short enough that I would then not be able to touch the pedal. I started it up, I drove it home, and that was the last time I drove it for about 10, maybe 11 years. And mostly it sat in the garage. But since this guy had talked me into buying this car, or talked to my husband into buying this car for me, he went ahead and agreed to help me take it apart. So every weekend for about a year, we spent in the garage pulling the car apart, bagging and tagging all the parts, inventorying everything, photographing everything. The car went to a little shop in Redwood City, where it's a great little shop, and these guys, did what they could with it, but they were mostly into, American muscle cars and hot rods, and they just had no idea what to do with this car. So it basically sat for, about 7, 8, 9 years or so. I like to think of it as free storage. And then Philip had sort of grown up seeing this car. Everybody in the family had grown up seeing this car in the garage, and it had gotten to be a really bad joke. Well, Leslie has the E. Thank you. So he had gotten a job in New York. It was moving back here to California, and said, I'm really looking for a project car. And I went, well, have I got a project car for you? And we made an agreement that if Philip would become the project manager on this and get it done, he could have half the car. And that was all it took. So within weeks, Philip had identified the guys in Campbell Images, Dave Ferguson Images, and the car had been delivered, and that was in May, and the following December, we took delivery and drove the car home. So it was really cool after that many years to finally get everything done. And it was a whirlwind. I mean, there were all of these decisions to make so fast. We wanted to do what was right for the car. We wanted to keep it historically accurate. It's a matching numbers car. It's a very early car. And we knew as we sort of walked through the restoration of it that this was an important car, and we wanted to make sure we did it right. So we did.
I remember seeing the table of parts while it was being restored. 65,000 parts laid out on a big, probably 30 by 30 table.
Yes.
Every single nut and bolt has been replated and restored on this car. There are about 4 that I can count, actually that I know of exactly, that are not original.
When we brought the car home, after the restoration, I was driving through Saratoga, and at every stop sign through Saratoga, somebody would yell, "Hey, what's that car?" And I had a couple of cyclists that were riding along next to me, talking to me about it, and that always happens. No matter where I am, no matter what else I'm trying to do, somebody wants to stop me and talk about the car.
I've been driving a bunch of more modern German cars where they had turbocharged engines, and they're kind of manufacturing sound. I would say that this is probably the best sounding car I've ever driven. So what is it like to drive? Being a 6'1" male, I would say it's not built for me. I would say it's built for my mom, Leslie, who's about 5'2". She would say 5'3". But it's since it's such an early car, the backs of the seats do not recess into kind of this rear passenger area, and so that's about the driving position. So it's a 3.8 liter straight six, about 260 horsepower or so, give or take. We have upgraded the brakes a little bit just on the front. The original ones were just fine, but you know, we drive around the highways on California and wanted something that could stop a little bit better. It's 4-wheel discs. In the rear, it's inboard disc brakes. We've also put a 5-speed transmission in it. We do still have the original 4-speed non-synchronized.
Driving it up to your house one time, I remember there was a lady who was out gardening, and I could see her. She had heard me probably a block away, and she was so pissed. And then she came around and looked at the cars, just gave me a thumbs up.
You can't not smile at this car.
Yeah.